Today we're going to be learning trigonometry, which is a key skill for people looking to take the higher paper at GCSE level. Okay, let's get into it. So first of all, for trigonometry, you'll need to know these three equations. I'll explain what they mean in a minute. So, sine, for instance, is just a function on your calculator. You'll find it there. Theta, this is a Greek letter, basically means the angle you're given. For the trigonometry we're doing is one side and one angle. There are other types of trigonometry I'll explain in another video. But today we're going to be doing this. So sine theta, sine angle, equals O over A, and I'll explain what these means later. And cosine theta, cosine angle, equals A over H. Tan theta, tan angle, equals O over A. Now these are just functions you'll find on your scientific calculator. Okay, so let's jump into it. So first of all, we need to figure out what these are. So these letters, abbreviations, are just abbreviations for the sides. So opposite, for example, O, and here, just means the side opposite to the angle that's adjacent to the right angle. So let's label that there, opposite. The adjacent is just the other side adjacent to the right angle that isn't the opposite. And the hypotenuse, the longer side of the triangle, the only side that doesn't touch the right angle. So we've labelled those. Now we need to find which one of these equations we'd like to use. So to find it out, we need to find if any of these, both of these contain both the unknown, x in this case, and the side value that we have, in this case 7.3. So let's have a look at sine. So O, we have 7.3, H, we have x. So this is what we want. For example, we wouldn't want to use cosine because A neither has a value nor is an unknown. Okay, so let's write out the equation and fill in the gaps. Sine, in brackets, 30 equals our opposite, 7.3 over x. Now obviously we want to get x on its own, so we'll need to do some rearranging. So to rearrange, we can swap the sine 30 and the x around, so that we would get that x is equal to 7.3 over sine 30. It's important to remember putting brackets in when you're doing this, otherwise your calculator might not understand what you're doing. Okay, so here's our equation, and that's all you need to do. So after this, just go over to your calculator, just do 7.3 divided by sine 30, close your brackets, that is equal to 14.6. So that's all we need to do. Now we know that x equals 14.6. As long as you showed your working, you've shown the equation that you've used, written out how you rearranged it, labelled the angles, and found out the unknown, that should be all the marks you need in an assessment. So, now that we've figured that out, let's try another example. Okay, so now that we've figured out how to do this, let's try another angle. So here we have this triangle, and we want to find out what side x is. First, let's label the sides. So this is the opposite, it's opposite the angle, this is the adjacent, it's adjacent to the right angle, and this is the hypotenuse, the longest side on the triangle. Now we need to find which equation we would like to use. Let's try sine theta. With opposite, yes, we're trying to find the opposite. However, we don't want to find the hypotenuse. It's not either the unknown or the value we've been given. Let's try cosine. We want to find the adjacent. We've got the angle for that, side for that, but we don't want to find the hypotenuse. So it must be tan. So let's write this out. Tan 43 is equal to x over 5.4. And obviously this will not do. We need to have x on its own. So by multiplying both sides by 4.5 to get rid of this at the bottom, we will get that tan 43 multiplied by 5.4 equals x. So now if we go over and we put this into our calculator, we do tan 43 multiplied by 5.4 is equal to 5.035. Normally they'll ask you to round this to 1 or 2 decimal places, so how about we just round it to 2. 1, 2, 5.04, and that's your answer. Okay, so let's try one more example, pause the video and have a go. Okay, let's start this off by labelling our sides. Here we have the opposite, the adjacent, and of course the hypotenuse. So, which equation do we need to use? Let's try sine. We have the hypotenuse value, but we neither have the opposite value nor want to work it out. So, let's try cosine. We have the adjacent as an unknown, and we have the hypotenuse value. So this is the equation for us. So let's write it down. Cosine 27 is equal to a over h, or x, over 9.8. And so as we know, we would like x on its own, so let's times both sides by 9.8, so that we'll get this. Cosine 27 multiplied by 9.8 equal to x. All we have to do now is put that into our calculator. Cosine 27 multiplied by 9.8 equals 8.731. And as we know, we'll round to 2 decimal places, 8.73. So we get that x is equal to 8.73. That's all we need to do. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and hit that like button if you wish to see more content. Thank you.